I just checked into my hotel room here in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I want to show you the very first thing I do once I get into my hotel room to check it for bed bugs so I don't have to deal with them, and I want to show you how to do it so you don't have to deal with them either. Why is checking for bed bugs important? Well, recently, the one time I did a less than thorough check, literally the one time, the room I reserved in a rather nice hotel was infested with bed bugs. More on that experience in a little bit. Hi everybody, foXnoMad here, and today I want to help you travel smarter by showing you how to search a hotel room for bed bugs. And I want to take you to the very first moment, the thing you should do immediately once you get access to your room. Alright, so the first thing you want to do when you enter the room is locate the bed, and then keep your luggage, your backpack, your jacket, all of your stuff as far away from it as you can. You can use the bathroom, but I just find, keeping it by the door is ideal. It's easy. Just make sure that it's not close to the bed, as far away as possible. And a lot of hotel rooms, as soon as you put the key card in, it's going to turn all the lights on. So what you want to do is you want to start turning those off. Just going to turn this off. Remember, everything, all of your stuff is away from the bed. Nothing is on the bed at this point. Now we're just gonna close the curtains. So the whole point of this is to make the room dark, because what you want to do is you're going to take out your phone, your flashlight, and start doing some inspecting. So bed bugs like to hang around where you hang around where you sleep. And so the most likely part of the room that they're going to be in is up here around sort of the pillows, the headboard, and the mattress. So that's where they like to hide. Chances are during the day you won't see them out, which is why you turn off the lights, because they're more likely to show themselves if it's darker. If the lights are on, they're gonna go into hiding. So let's start doing our search. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the pillows, put those over there, make some space, take my light, and I'm gonna start lifting up the mattress. So basically what I'm doing is I am picking up the sheets, lifting up if there's any pads. So we have this little pad here as well, and I'm gonna just pull back the blanket also. And so what you want to do is you want to take the light, and you see where, right, so you see where the seam is here in the mattress. You want to really sort of look in here underneath here. You want to see if you can see a couple of telltale signs for bed bugs. I've got the lights on for part of this video, but that's just so you have something to watch. Ideally, you're doing this inspection in as dark of a room as possible. Obviously, if you see a live bed bug, that's a clear red flag, but you're gonna be looking for casings, like little bug casings. You're gonna look for basically any kinds of black stains, so their poop will sort of look like almost like a drop of ink that's been dropped in the mattress or on the sheets. And you want to just really go around the entire part of the mattress, especially where there's any kind of creasing, where any little thing could hide. And you're kind of looking like there's like this little piece of like dirt, a little piece of wood there, like that kind of stuff. That's kind of normal. You don't have to freak out about that. But what you're looking for are like the signs of bugs, and it'll be obvious. And bed bugs molt every so often, so you'll see their little casings. They're sort of a round shape, like here inside, like I'm seeing a lot of like kind of dirt, but nothing looking suspicious. So essentially I'm just gonna go around the entire mattress, check the seams, but I really want to focus up here by the headboard, because like I said, those are the places that they're most likely to hang out around, looking for little black stains. I don't see anything like that. The sheets are clean. And like, for example, you can see this like little rust brown stain. Don't want to know what that is, but that's too big for something to be like a bed bug stain. It's going to be like a little sort of black drop dot. It's going to be like a little size of a pin maybe, with a little splotch around it, something like that. So that stain is not that, something else. Now, where I like to really focus is on these corners. You see I'm lifting up around here, around the edges, and I like to go into the corners here. You will find out a lot about your hotel room and how old the mattress is. You'll see things when you do this, but it's really worth your time. Now, obviously, I'm filming, so this is taking a little bit longer than it would otherwise, but you basically just want to go around you start seeing something that looks suspicious, and you know, if you start seeing like a lot of little like shell casings or little black stains, that kind of thing, or a live bug for sure. You should know what a bed bug looks like. I'll put one up on the screen here to terrify you at night, but if you know what they look like, if you see a live bug, definitely that's absolute red flag. And the reason we're keeping everything back there at the front of the room, the reason all of my stuff is still back there is because you don't want to contaminate anything. So if you do find a bed bug, or you do suspect the room of having bed bugs, that way none of your actual clothes, none of your bags, they're not going to contaminate any of that stuff, so you won't take anything home. See, this mattress has a tear here, so that's a place that I want to check out and look, because that could be a potential hiding place. And it's worth mentioning, one thing that I have noticed, especially in tropical places, is sometimes you'll look kind of where there's plaster, you know, in the wall. It's kind of where like these corners and stuff where there's a little bit of plaster. If you look really carefully, if you've got a good eye, you'll see sometimes these long bugs. They look like kind of like rice, but they're tiny, like really tiny. You can barely see them. If they weren't moving, you wouldn't see them. And that always freaked me out. And bed bugs can be any size, but if they've got that long shape, chances are that those are dust mites, or they're a type of mite which are common in humid areas. And these types of mites that I'm talking about, they eat mold. They feed on mold, so tiny amounts of mold. They don't feed on you. If you see something like that, if it's like a long shape, not sort of the round bedbug shape, then that's what those are. Again, check it, compare it to, you know, pictures online. If you have any suspicions, if you're unsure, go to the hotel reception, do some Googling, you know, do some image comparison, but chances are that's what they're going to be. If they're really tiny and they're rice length, like they're really super long and tiny. Another trick I like to do is sort of put the light up against the mattress. And if you look closely, probably the camera's not catching this, but you can kind of look underneath and see if there's anything dark moving around in there, any kind of a stain or any kind of bug or anything like that. So you can do that, and just kind of, you'll be able to see with the light right up there, kind of illuminate the mattress underneath and light up anything that's dark. So I'm just going around, checking. You know, it's a pretty quick check. Now, if you come across a tag like this, you definitely want to look underneath it. Tags are one of the places that these little dudes like to hide out. So I'm going to check in there. I don't see anything. So I'm going to keep going around here. Look on the top, look on the bottom of these little folds here. Alright, so now that that's done, another thing I like to do is pick up the mattress, take my flashlight, and just look underneath. So you're going to basically lift this up. I have to throw my knee under there, and I will take my flashlight and I will look and see. I'll look under here, any little weird things hiding. I don't see anything. Always good. And to make sure I don't see any little creepy crawlies running around. Then I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna look in these little creases down here. And it's sort of weird to catch this on camera, but you want to see if you can see any like insect casings. You want to look around here. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything, so far, so good. Probably wondering, how much longer is this going to take? Do I have to do this every time I get into a hotel room? The answer is, you should do this every time you get into a hotel room, and it shouldn't take this long. It should take maximum 10 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes maximum, depending on how big the room is. But again, you're really just focusing on the bed and the headboard. Some rooms, they don't even have a headboard, so it's a lot less, intricate like this. The wood panels here on the bottom. Oh, speaking of, basically do like a quick spot check underneath. See if you see anything. Just kind of looking under there, see if you see anything weird, unusual, moving around, dirt that looks like poop, that kind of stuff. One thing I've also done is just pull the bed out a little bit so I can get more space to check behind where the bed and the support meets the headboard. So now that I've created a little bit of space, I'm gonna look in here. Sort of look around. Again, the headboard, that there's this little light switch here, so you just want to look around that little guy. Just go around, see if there's anything. There's nothing I can see in there. So yeah, all that's looking good. And last but not least, we're gonna check around a headboard. So it's not really a headboard, it's more part of the wall, but it is conveniently right, you know, kind of by the head of the bed. So you're just gonna look under here. Again, just going through the creases with your phone, seeing if you can eyeball anything around the statue. Pick up the statue, look underneath, just look all around it. But while I'm at it, what I'm gonna do is just flash my flashlight around here, just around the creases. All right, so I haven't seen anything, no signs, no, you know, poop stains, no shell casings that you would find from bed bug molting, things like that. Now you might come across small bits of lint or things that are like a crumb or something that you like kind of think like that looks weird, but you're gonna really be able to tell when you see it. So you're just gonna look around. One little random piece of lint shouldn't freak you out. So you'll just kind of look around and notice. Like I said, the main red flag is a live bed bug walking around. That's definitely your key to take a picture of one, go down to the hotel reception. Then if you either change the hotel completely, or if you get another room, you want to go to another room in the hotel that is not above it, below it, next to it, to the left or the right. You want a room that is in an entirely different part of the hotel, because bed bugs can travel between rooms. Looking under there, I don't see anything. All right, so now I'm done with my main inspection. I'm basically done at this point. I can open the curtains, can go back and turn on the lights. So it's a lot brighter in here. Basically how we started. I feel pretty confident. I think I've done a pretty thorough check. That's about the level of thoroughness that you need to do. The reason I wanted to make this video is because of a recent experience that I had. So at this point, what you're doing is you put your bed back together and maybe just keep looking to see if you see anything, but looks like a pretty good all clear. So I want to tell you a little bit about this experience. So I had my stuff kind of splayed out in the room. I had my suitcase left open and I went for a run and came back at night to eat dinner. And when I arrived back to eat dinner, it was about 9:30. It was a little bit late at night. I noticed something on the wall crawling there. And I thought that little dot that was walking around the wall was a spider. So I didn't really make any, I didn't really think too much about it. And then I noticed it was walking around differently than a spider. You know how a spider just kind of like saunter around a little bit. This was a little bit of a different pattern. Also, it was a little bit smaller than I would expect. Spider didn't have the legs, so I went up to take a close look, and there was a bed bug. Now, it was a live bed bug running up and down the wall, and as many hotels as I have stayed in, that was my first encounter, at least that I realized that I have seen with a bed bug. And I've spent a lot of time in hotels. I was actually kind of surprised to see one, and also it freaked me out. I hadn't slept in the room or anything, but I still had my suitcase open and it had just been laying on the floor, which is one thing that you don't want to do. So even after you've checked the entire room, you come over here, you've got your luggage, you want to basically just, you can bring it into the room, but you want to take your clothes out, zip it back up. Put your clothes back in, zip it back up. It will just make it less likely, even though you've checked the room and the chances of there being bed bugs at this point in this room is fairly low. I'm feeling pretty confident. We did a pretty thorough check. You still don't want to take any risks. So, for example, like your jacket or your shirt, when you change into your, what you wear to go to sleep, you can just put your day clothes back in your suitcase and zip it back up. Makes it less likely anything getting in there. And that way you don't have to worry as much. What I did, my mistake, was to come into the room and just have everything sprawled out and on the floor. So what that meant was there was a pretty high chance, a pretty high risk of a bed bug egg or a bed bug getting into my clothes, into my suitcase, and then me having to carry that home. Fortunately, I wasn't too far away, so I actually did do that. I went just back home, and then I had to wash all of my clothes. I steamed my luggage, like all kind of things I had to do to make sure that I didn't contaminate, bring bed bugs home, which is something you really don't want to do because they are a pain in the butt to kill and to remove and to disinfect. So that's why it's a good idea to keep your luggage far away from the bed when you get into the room. And now I just don't even open it up, and I just kind of take my clothes in and out and then zip everything back up. Not that it's all packed, it's still messy in there. It just means that I'm not leaving my bag open and on the floor. If the room has a luggage rack, you can check that as well for bed bugs and then leave your luggage on the rack so that it's just not close to the bed. Now you're probably asking a couple of questions at this point. How long did all of this take? It took roughly 15 minutes, about 10 to 15 minutes. That's how long a usual check takes. This room took a little bit longer because it's sort of an older style, the way it's styled here. Let me show you. You know, it's got wood there. It's got a little bit more intricate of a design. Most newer hotels have a more minimalist layout and architecture and design, so there isn't so many creases and little crevices and that kind of thing. So depending on the room will depend on how long it takes you, but I would say 10 to 15 minutes. I think that's a good amount of time to check. If you do find a bed bug or evidence of bed bugs, you want to take pictures of those and go down to the hotel reception. Chances are the hotel is probably already going to know about it if they have a problem. So like I said, you can either totally change hotel. Probably you'll be so freaked out, that's your first choice, that's what you'll want to do, and you can get a refund potentially from the hotel that you're staying in. Or change rooms, like I said, not one above or below or next to it, somewhere as far away in another part of the hotel as possible. Alright, so now you've done your inspection, you kind of put the bed back together. Not as good as housekeeping probably, but you know, you've got the sheets back on there and all that stuff. I just wanted to remind you some things that you are looking for. Number one, you are looking for live bed bugs. That is a major red flag. That is get out of the room time. All of these are get out of the room time, but especially if you see a live one, you want to get out of the room as soon as possible because chances are there's more than one. Two, you want to look for little poop stains. Those are like little black dots, they're almost like when you push into them, they'll sort of crumble and it'll look like almost like someone dropped like a very, very tiny amount, like a pin drop size of black stain on a white sheet or white mattress, and you'll kind of notice it. You'll see a lot of those little stains if you see bed bug poop. And then you're looking for shell casings, like basically the exoskeleton of the bed bugs, which they shed on a pretty regular basis. They'll look like a bed bug, except there's nothing in there, it's just the shell. You want to look for that. And you also want to look for eggs, and those are the small sort of whitish kind of little, you know, eggs basically. So I'm showing you the images now on the screen so you get an idea of what to compare, what you're looking for, and what, you know, what to see, what to notice. So those are the things that you're looking for. Maybe there are little red stains on the mattress, for example, from a bed bug drinking somebody's blood and then getting rolled over in the middle of the night, those kind of things. So if you see things like that, those are your red flags. Those are the things that you should be looking out for. Those are the things that you should take pictures of and then let the hotel reception know. And yeah, it is totally possible to really go obsessive crazy and check every little corner of the room. That's fine, depends on how much you want to search. I think like that search that I showed you, the 10 to 15 minutes, is going to give you a pretty high level of confidence on whether or not a room has bed bugs. But again, the areas that you want to check are around the bed, especially around the headboard, around any drawers around the bed. The chances of bed bugs being in like the bathroom or something is very, very low because they feed on humans, so they're going to stay around their food. They tend to stay within 5 feet or about 1.5 meters of their food source, which is going to be, you know, that section around the bed. You can also extend your search to check the drawers and things like that, but chances are you're going to see evidence around the bed if there are bed bugs, and that's going to be your first major clue. And if you've done your check and you don't find any evidence of bed bugs, you can get a good night's sleep, rest a little bit more comfortably, still take some of the precautions. Like I said, don't leave all your clothes out everywhere, you know, pack everything up in your suitcase, just keep it closed, and just try to keep your clothes, your shoes, those things away from the bed just in case. But if you've done a thorough check, chances are there are no bed bugs. A lot of experts say although bed bugs are on the rise, they are still relatively rare, so hopefully this will give you some peace of mind when you enter a hotel room. I know it is a total pain. You just arrived in a new place, you might be hot and sweaty, you want to get into the room and just kind of like lay down in the bed or just, you know, change your clothes, all that stuff. I know it's a super pain in the butt, but having bed bugs is a bigger pain in the butt. And after you've seen them in a hotel room, like in that particular hotel room, if I had just done a thorough check, it would have been extremely obvious that that room was infested with bed bugs. It was a pretty bad problem in that room, even though it was a really nice hotel and, you know, it looked very clean, everything was very clean. Those things don't matter. Like the class of the hotel doesn't matter, and the cleanliness doesn't matter either, because bed bugs are attracted to your blood. They don't care about dirt or food or things like that, because you are the food. And I really dodged a bullet that night. Like I would have been eaten all over. I would have easily brought those bed bugs home with me or to another hotel. It would have been a disaster. Cleaning all that up would have been horrible, and I would have had even more like PTSD than I already had from just seeing the bed bugs in the room. And I don't want you to have to go through that. So hopefully this video helps give you an idea of how to check a room thoroughly, how to make sure that you're looking for the right things, what to do with your clothes and your luggage, and this procedure when you first enter a hotel, like what you can do, how to get the room inspected, and to make sure that you have a comfortable night's sleep. Make sure you know what to do if you find bed bugs, but hopefully you don't, and you can sleep with more peace of mind. If you have any questions about anything I've shown you in this video, or searching for bed bugs, or what to look for, or something you have a question about, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll have new videos for you every week, and I'll see you in the next video.